Welcome to Woman Up, Blacks. We are so excited to be here. First guest ever in the history of, at least for this year. I'll kick it in to Steffi to introduce. Go.
Hey, everybody. So we've got Colleen Shearer from James Madison Women's Lacrosse here with us. I was really lucky to have Colleen coach me my last 3 years of college. She's been a college coach forever. She won a national championship with UVA in 2004. She won another national championship with James Madison in 2018, and she just won a world championship with our U.S. women's lacrosse team this past summer in Towson, Maryland. And we're super pumped to have you on, Colleen. Clearly, I know a lot about you. Christy knows a lot about you. You're one of the characters in the women's lacrosse world, and I mean that in a very positive way. And I know that we have a lot to dig into. We want to talk to you about some specific things and also see what fun matchups you got this weekend.
I wanted to kick off because you're all of those things. You are clearly have a championship mindset. You know what it takes to win on almost every level, but you also have a daughter playing in college. And so that kind of centers this conversation, not necessarily around her, but it gives you a wealth of experience in order to comment on. And what is it like being a parent of a kid playing in college?
I mean, it's awesome. First and foremost, to watch her live her dream has been, she wanted to go to Duke for a really long time, and for her to make it happen is amazing. So first and foremost, it's been a joy. Secondly, it's been hard. Just knowing, when you're a coach, you know what the kids are doing, you know how much time they put into practice and training room and all that kind of stuff. But when you have a daughter that's actually living it, and then she's telling you about it, you're seeing it from their eyes, and it's been amazing to see. It's been enlightening for me. It's just so much.
Has it changed how you've coached the past couple of years now that Maddie is at Duke?
Well, I don't know if it's changed how I coach, but I definitely feel like I have more empathy. Like I definitely feel like, okay, there's a lot of time. Like they are getting up sometimes early mornings. They go to class. It's just a lot of time, and it's very, very physical on their body. Like I didn't realize how much they go through, just how tired they are, their body, soreness, that kind of stuff. And as a coach,
is it just that we care more about this now? Are they more tired than we were 25 years ago?
Yeah,
or do we just care more?
I feel like, and Colleen, you and I talked about this, like, I feel like not that coaches didn't care about this 25 years ago, but like, I can remember my freshman year not playing at all and being like, hey, losers. And by not losers, we weren't losers. I called myself that. You guys go down to the other end of the field because you girls aren't girls that play on the field during games.
Right. But Debbie, that's the key. Like you literally just called yourself losers, and you have kids out there who, by the way, first it's all they want to do is get recruited at any school. Then it's like, all I want to get recruited at my school. Then they get recruited, like all I want to do is be on the team. Then once they're on the team, like all I want to do is like try to get on the field. Then they're like, then it's like they keep on growing, and then they don't have an understanding or an experience of like how you have to continue to work for that time. But if they don't get it, right, I think this is probably what is happening for so many people now that starting lineups are starting to settle in. You have less time to showcase your stuff at practice because practice is now a proxy for the game prep. And you're working on scout. At best, you have to be someone else in practice. Yeah. So you are now in this situation where you don't play. You feel like a loser, and all that time and energy you spent is now like, this is what it is. And then the entitlement, I think, starts to seep in, or from the adult perspective, maybe that's what we call it, right? Maybe it's not actually that, but what is it, Colleen?
That word, and that's the hard part. What is that word? But at least with my daughter, she's in that predicament that you just said. She's a second year, and she has trained, and we train a lot. So I know she's doing it. Some kids say they work hard. I know she worked hard. I was with her. So she trained, obviously all last year, all summer, and then went back, thought she had a good fall, which she did. And then trained all through the break, with the goal of trying to be one of the middies to rotate in.
Yeah.
And that's not happening. So right now she's in it. And now, like you said, we're starting to prep for games. There's no more what I call real coaching opportunities for the kids that aren't playing to get necessarily better. So what I tell my daughter, first and foremost, you need to be a good teammate. Secondly, you need stuff out of practice. You need to practice. You need to shoot before practice or after practice. You need to find time because you have to keep your skills up. Even though you're not getting as much coaching attention, you got to be ready in case they do need you. So that's your job now. You have to put some time in before practice. You have to keep your fitness up, and you have to do whatever they say, be the scout players, do all that with a smile on your face. I know it's hard, but there is no other answer. If you put your head down, you're never going to get it. That's what I tell her.
Ooh.
If you put your head
But
you'll never.
doesn't that feel imbalanced? Do they feel like it's an imbalance? At that point, it's like, I'm fighting now from behind. And like, what value do I really offer the team if what I have to do is do more than the people who are on the field? I mean, this is what I'm just trying to think like a Gen Zer.
That's what I see the kids on our team dealing with it, like how to find their value. And that's where coaches can help. Their teammates can help. And that's where their parents can help. We need the parents to listen, support, but not say, oh, well, you are the best or whatever. They just need to listen and support them and just be there for them. There's nothing else they can do. They can advise, go talk to the coach. That's great. But other than that, they need first and foremost to keep practicing their skills. And if that's out of practice, then so be it. And to be a good teammate. And that's what I tell my daughter every single day. And she's struggling.
What, Colleen, do you think, like, from a self-evaluation perspective from these girls, like, where do they I don't want to say mess up, but where do they go wrong in like evaluating their own individual skills against the girls of their teammates, knowing that somebody else is making the decision, the coaching staff, about putting them on the field?
Well,
and can I ask the second part of that question? And furthermore, if they're not good enough to play, do you help align them with, like, you're not just not going to play like right now, but you're not going to play this season? How do you help them with the self-awareness piece if it's so askew to what they think is right in their fingertips maybe, but really isn't?
Yeah, I mean, and that's where every coach is kind of different. Like, we have to be transparent and try to be as honest as possible, but also not crush them to where they feel like there's no hope. There needs to be hope, but if the kid can't self-evaluate, which a lot cannot, and they don't do a great job with it because their whole life they've been the best player, or their parents have told them they're the best player, or their coach, they were on really good club teams and they've never really sat before. And then they come to college, and the college coaches can be really brutal. I mean, they can be brutally honest, or not brutally honest, or not honest and not helping.
And that's brutal.
Yeah. And that's worse. Yeah. So the kids that may have a chance to go in if injury happens, you gotta be transparent with them. Look, you need to be ready. You need to be ready. There could be injury. You never know. You have to stay with it. And then you have to give them some reps to make sure that they are doing it. The kids that you know probably are not going to help. Maybe next year they will, or the year after that. You try to be as honest with them. And then you give, extra sessions. You invite them to your extra sessions in shooting. Try to give them some kind of value. You give them a really an important role with the scout team. You encourage them. But other than that, there's not really that much you can say.
I mean, you're a parent, so you know how to, and you're a parent who happens to be an expert and within the field. So you probably know how to help your daughter a little bit more, like stay the course, like it will pay off. And if it pays off by your senior year, it will have all been worth it. But a lot of parents don't have that expertise or that perspective. How do you help kids feel their value on a team when they're used to knowing their value on the team by their contribution?
Yeah, it's really hard. And I don't think it's isolated to just sports. I think a lot of companies, I mean, it's not like you're going to work at Google your first year and be sitting in a meeting room and have an opinion. No one's going to ask you for your opinion. So it does happen, but I struggle and my daughter struggles and I know what I'm doing. So I feel for the parents, but I would just say to them, try to be as positive as possible. You can't succumb to their, like, they are struggling. You just have to support them, but don't fuel the fire. You can't say stuff like, no, you are the best. You are the best. You should be playing over her. You should be playing. It's not about you comparing yourself to that next kid. If you start comparing, the parents start comparing, oh, my kid's better than that girl. That's only going to be a rabbit hole. So you just can't.
Well, it's also just so vacant of understanding if you're not a practice every day to know the nuance. And like a lot of people, and I guess I'd ask you this as a coach, having coached so many teams and coached for so long, like you have the kids that you play for reasons even you don't even know, like because the ball loves them, or because you see it. I mean, Stephanie and I were talking about when we coached Richmond in 2012. Like there was this girl who was terrible at stick work, and McKenna Poley. I'm so sorry I'm calling you out, but
She's
you knew it. We said it in front of the whole team, but we were like, it's undeniable how much the ball wants to be in her stick off the draw. So we were like, either you're gonna really quickly get your stick work up to where like deals and you can function. The whole team's gonna rally around you, but we can't not put you in. So you got to get there. But as soon as you get that ball, we need to give you an option to give it away, and then you need to get it off the field. You know what I mean? And she was like so in the honesty of it. She crushed it. But, like parents would be like, how is she playing? She's terrible at her stick work. I'm like, she is. That is true. And you don't see what we see every day at practice. You don't see how she fights for her teammates. You don't see how much her teammates rise when she's on the field, probably because they think she's not that good at stick work. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's where I try not to get into, because they'll never know. Like, I mean, I've had that example a gazillion times. And even when I watch my daughter play, I'm at the game and I'm like, I can't believe she can't beat that girl out. But then I'm like, no. I can't think.
Yeah.
Coaches, they see her every single day. There's a reason those kids are playing in front of her. That's it. Point blank. Have to trust coaches. Yeah. It's their livelihood on the line. They're invested more than anybody. So they are seeing something and feeling something. And it's just better for the team that they play. And that's a really hard pill to swallow. But it's the reality of it. Not everyone can play. And so I'm just constantly just counseling my daughter with it and just
it's almost like, she's had this dream. She's reached the first level of her dream, and the fact that she wanted to play lacrosse at Duke. Now she's there. There's got to be another level to that dream. So how do you help her keep that dream alive? Like, other than hey, you got to get shots in before practice. There's got to be like this mental side of it that she's able to. And I know Maddie, like I see the videos of her on that.
But you're playing into it, Stephanie. You're playing into it right now. We're about to be like, I know she's good enough. Well, what are you doing over there?
She's good.
Like I know. But here's what I think. I think it's proactive patience.
There's other kids that are better. Like there's not that good. Yeah. It's just that there may be somebody other that are a better fit for what we're doing. And But when she got to play the other day, and it was not for a long period of time, but she was so happy. She's a baller. She wants to be. But she also knows she also knows that it's not her time yet. And her goal right now is if her number gets called, she's going to be ready. And you know what? Out there,
I love that approach.
Even when she went out there and she played, she didn't overplay. She didn't go out there and try to prove to the coaches, I should be playing. She went in there, played within the structure, took her opportunity.
And did her job, probably.
And that's all she could do. After the game, I'm like, you know what? You did the best. It's not in your control. You did what you can control. Great job. And now on to the next, and you're going to be the best fucking.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. We dropped F-bombs. It's okay. It's okay. You're talking about your daughter. You're allowed to drop an F-bomb.
We don't say that it's okay for kids on YouTube. We say that it's like
best scout player that you can possibly be. And her role on the team, like we talked a little bit about what's her value. She does seem to be carving out a niche on the team. Hers, I think, happens to be she's on the funnier side. So she is helping the team, even though she's not on the field all the time, but she is trying to, her niche is kind of like, being the funny kid and making things lighter and not so serious and
that fun factor.
Yeah, the fun. And so I think she does appreciate that role. So, and I'm glad she has a role that she feels good about. And good.
Do you think the kids, are you as college coaches and are you spending time making sure that all the kids on the team know that they've all done everything up until this point? Like, right, they've gone to all the practices, they've done all the training, like no matter whether you play or not. And so that I know when I get on a broadcast, it's like you're looking at two sidelines full of kids who are not out there playing, and you're talking about the kids who are playing. And it feels like a disgrace if we're not saying like the value of every kid here is so huge, because the stars can't be the stars if they don't have people to play against. And I remember being a star on the field, like looking to my teammates on the sideline to be being my eyes and ears, to making sure that they're involved in the game, and also to be relying on that involvement, what they could see that I couldn't see. Are you guys as coaches cultivating that, trying to?
100%. I think most coaches are pretty in tune to it. I think some do others. But I know here, like, and same in Virginia, you have to go out of your way to carve out, whether it's jobs or roles and pay attention to that. You have to give them reps when you can.
Yeah.
You have to compliment them when they can. Like, we have a kid, say we have a freshman that probably isn't going to play a lot. She's like our DJ on the team. Like, she is in charge of the, like, you know what I mean? Like, kid,
waka, waka.
Yeah, like we call her DJ Rongo. Like, but in a way, it gives her some kind of purpose and something to focus on instead of just playing. Like, she does have a role outside. I know it's not what she wants right now, but honestly, like, it makes me feel more like I can relate to her because I talk to her about music. Like I try to relate with all the kids, whether they play or not play, something like, there's another kid that really loves sneakers. I love sneakers. So we talk a lot about that. So I try to like touch all the kids, not just the starters, and the starters have problems too. And
right. Totally.
You're like, oh, it's so much pressure. And I feel so nobody has it easy being on a team. That's the other thing. And I say that to my daughter.
I think your point that like this is actually how the business world and the world beyond sports and college like looks like. If you can't find the stamina to stick with something you really love, I mean, the badass part of all this is that you're playing Division I lacrosse and you're doing like what all of you guys, like what you require, and that is a ton. That is giving you the skills that are transferable to help you be a leader, to help you rise in business or whatever you want to do. And so like the benefit is already there, but like it's hard to not see it on the day-to-day yet, even though we all know, right? It's going to play out 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 years down the line. All right. So appreciate this conversation. There's a lot more to dig in, but we don't want to waste your time. We want to know, like, what are the big matchups you're thinking about this week? Who you guys play?
Well, we play High Point, which is, it's always, High Point always plays JMU really, really tough. So, and they play a zone. This is our first zone team that we're going to come across. So,
and they have a sick goalie. Taylor Suplee is like,
so it's gonna be a tough matchup for us, but we're ready. Our attack has been generating a ton of shots, and possess the ball. We're doing well on draws, and our defense is really, really good. But we're not scoring the way that we should. We miss a lot. We're missing a lot of shots, point blank. So we're hoping that Saturday that we can kind of break it open and get a lot of goals. Really.
Who's your favorite player to watch, either on your team or in college? You play that however way you want to play it, but who should we be looking out for this season?
Well, and I just want to address like matchups. To me, the most intriguing matchup this weekend is Maryland and Florida. Now, selfishly, Florida's in our conference, so they're going to our biggest, probably our biggest competitor in our conference, and then we play Maryland next Tuesday.
Ooh,
yes, down here at JMU.
Oh, this is fun.
This is getting a little exciting.
Yeah. So
I'm forward
to that matchup. It's in Florida, and the two of them have a lot of history, and they go at it. So I'm most intrigued to see. I have no idea who's going to win. I mean,
that's going to be an interesting one with both of them taking losses last week.
Yes.
Florida
and each of them have the bite. Yeah, they need a win real bad. And are you in charge of the scout? Like, how do you guys tackle the scout? Like, so once you have that video, will you watch it? You won't watch it live because you're probably playing a game, right?
Yeah, we won't
at the same time.
But then I'll watch it Sunday. I'll watch the Maryland Florida game on Sunday, and then just start processing, and then we'll cut it. It'll already be cut, and then we'll just start doing film. I'll send clips to the girls probably on Sunday, and so we'll carry. Monday we'll have full scout going video and practice Monday and Tuesday and try to kick some.
I mean, that's a quick turnaround too from a Saturday Wednesday game. Like,
I mean, honestly, it doesn't break my heart that Maryland, was on the road last weekend at Syracuse, on the road to Drexel, and then on the road to Florida this weekend, and then they're going to on the road to us. So,
whoa, interesting schedule approach there. Kathy Nelson and Lori
we need
Kenneth.
every advantage we can get. We're going to try and we'll take it.
That's
always with Maryland. I know. Yes. Seriously, that's exciting. That's really exciting. Well, good luck with all of it. We'll be catching the games on the fly. Steffi's our lacrosse person. I don't know what I am. I'm just
amazing lacrosse players that ever played.
Oh, me? Oh yeah, but like so far long ago that I can't even remember. I was like, you're thinking the other last night I played a padel ball. I don't even
yeah,
know, but people are like, you must have eye-hand coordination because of lacrosse. I was like, I whiffed so many balls, it was embarrassing. But I did get so excited that I dove for a ball, and the guy behind me was like, I got it. I said I got it. I was like, well, I can't hear, so whatever.
It was the hearing loss. It was the hearing loss. You must have not had.
I know. I got hearing aids now. Yeah. So anyway, Colleen, we love you. Thank you so much. Good luck to the
weekend.
team. Say hi to Shirley.
Thank you, guys.
Toodles. Bye.